Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. It's your boy Kanik, and today guys I have fixed Team Samurai's deck profile and I wanted to show it to you guys. But before I continue, I want to say this is not like a shot against Team Samurai or whatever. Matter of fact, like I have huge love for Team Samurai because first of all, I'll never forget about that first shout out I got like half a year ago for that indestructible full all master deck profile. So I'll never forget about that. I'll always appreciate that, and like that's just one of a million reasons why I would never shoot against Team Samurai. But yeah, but at the end of the day, so obviously he's not a fan of the Kali Yuga build. I respect that because me personally, I also don't like Kali Yuga that much. But in my opinion, and I also think in a lot of other people's opinion, it is unfortunately still the best way to play Blackwings. And now with the new support, it's even more consistent and just more effective because you can build like a better wall around Kali Yuga, like make it so beautiful, which is why we believe it is the best way to play Blackwings nowadays. But if you're not a fan of Blackwings, that does not mean that you cannot play Blackwings anymore. No, there's still beautiful deck profiles that you can play without Kali Yuga. And one, for example, is like Team Samurai's ones, but now I added my sauce to his deck profile, and this is what I want to show you guys today. Okay, so like I said, huge love to Team Samurai. No shot, no beef, no nothing. All right, don't even start in the comments like yo, whoa, blah blah blah. All right, okay, let's go. So the first combo that I got, okay, so you can build different boards with this deck, okay, different boards. It's up to you guys, and it depends on the interruption that you get. But either way, you will always be able to build some kind of board, okay? Because one interruption is not enough to stop you from building a solid board to win a game. Okay, so this is one board that I like to go for. If it's too fast for you guys, then you can slow down the video, but I don't want to waste too much time on showing you off the combos. But here, this is really important. As you can see, we have now gone for the first Blackwing Assault Dragon. Before you go for the second Blackwing Assault Dragon, by the way, we have also not used the second time the Black Feather Wildman, so we only have used it once, and then we bounce it back with Sephiroth. And now, before we go for the second Blackwing Assault Dragon, because usually you would now trigger the Black Feather Wildman to special summon the Boris, but no, what I want you to do is, real quick, first banish Boris and Blackwing Dragon to go for the Blackwing Assault Dragon, because if they still have like Bestials or whatever, then they would now trigger the Bestial to banish the Boris in your graveyard while you're targeting it with the Black Feather Wildman. So therefore, first go for the Blackwing Assault Dragon. Now on the summoning of the second Blackwing Assault Dragon, chain it and target the banished Boris, okay? This is how you can basically like play around the Bistils. And then you want to go for the third Blackwing Assault Dragon, set the Blackwing Twin Shadow over here. And now what you got over here is basically a solid board that will not lose against Evilly Match or Dark Ruler no more, okay? Because either way, the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss is going to save you by triggering the Twin Shadow, go for full Arm Master, and then chain the Abyss and target the Dark Ruler on the floor to negate it. Okay, but if they do not play Dark Ruler or Evilly Match, then simply once they summon a monster or two monsters, activate the Twin Shadow, chain 1 Sylvan, chain 3 Shamal in the graveyard to target the Chinook, and chain 3 the Black Feather Wildman to target the Nofung. Now, why Nofung? Because he's gonna give another 800 damage. And this is basically what we want to do with this board, okay? We're going to have another board also, but with this board, all you want to do is just burn your opponent to death. Because with those 3 Blackwing Assault Dragons, they can only activate 3, like maximum 3 monster effects. And with Chinook on our hand now, we will negate one of those monster effects. So basically, he will only resolve 2 monster effects on the floor. so here you will only resolve 2 monster effects, and that is basically game. You will not win a game if you can only activate 2 monster effects and beat the sport, right? And like if you need a backup, then you can also go for the full arm master, because there's no way that they can get rid of those 3 big dragons into full arm master. Okay, so once you got this board, it's almost unbeatable. Okay, it's really is almost unbeatable. Only thing it can stop is maybe like a super poly droplet, something like that. But besides that, like there's not really much that they can do. Alright, let's go for the other board that you can do with this deck. Okay, and this the other board that you can do if you want to, like it depends on whatever you guys like more. Obviously, like same thing, start off the moon, Zutri, Vata, Kamal. You already know. Okay, so once we got that out, you can use the second time Black Feather Wand to special summon the Boris Vata to go then for Boris. And then with Boris, you want to send also another Shamal to the graveyard, because in your opponent's turn, when you activate the Twin Shadow and summon a Blackwing monster, you want to trigger that Shamal's effect, right? So keep that in mind. And then yeah, like if you do not want to lose against Darkwood no more, then like Twin Shadow and Abyss is the way to go. But if you know that your opponent does not have the Dark Ruler in his deck, for some reason you might know it, I don't know, then you can also go for something else. But like this is another board that you can do. Like, Berserker is really good, especially against the elements. Wallow, same thing, plus the huge attack boost that you get. And with Blackwing Assault Dragon, first of all, you're gonna have a protection with Black Feather Wand and Blackwing Assault Dragon, plus those mons burn damage is beautiful. And then the Abyss for an Omni Negate. Then you got the Twin Shadow for 2 pops. This is one thing, right? And then what I also like to do is, like, you could also go for IP, and then use IP to go for Unicorn, and then next turn go for Avamax with that Unicorn. Okay, or simply like go like that. If you need high attack monsters on the field, then go for Avamax. And this is like one thing that all right, let's, you know what, let me just explain to you now what the couple changes I did. Okay, let's go. Okay, oh shit, hold up, let me just real quick. All right, there we go. So as you can see, guys, before I show you my deck profile, okay, I want to go back to Team Samurai's deck profile, which is this one. Basically Chris, Bora, like, instead of having those 4 cards, why not play 3 times Small World plus a Great Small World Bridge, for example Radiant? Because now instead of having those extenders, you can have like in one card combo search, because you're playing so many monster hand traps that you can also use with Small World to search for another monster. You understand? So instead of playing those 4 cards, why not just play Small World to search for a card that you're looking for? That's one thing. Then the Skullmeisters, guys, I'm not really a huge fan of that, because there are going to be chain locks. And if they chain lock you with, let's say, chain 1 Kelbeck, chain 2 Siren, chain 3 the trap card, then how are you gonna activate that card? Because that's like DD Crow and the Biscuit cards are great, because you can just target one of the fusion, like the elements that want to fusion, and just banish that. But yeah, and for the X, like also Oster does not make sense. It really does not make sense. Okay, please, just, I love Oster, guys. Okay, I understand that you guys are a huge fan of Oster, but this card does not make sense. Like, really. I mean, of course, it does make sense somehow. If you, for example, play Boris, then you can send him to the graveyard, right? and then go for full armor set, and then activate also effect to uh, give out some tokens. But like if you cannot search for Oster, right? I mean, you can search for him with Zutri, but once you search with Zutri for Oster, then there's nothing that you can do with Oster on your hand. Like it really does not really make sense for me. But whatever. Now for the X deck, Access Code Talker, a Palooza, Forstrix, Evil Swarm Nightmare. In my opinion, those cards are weak. Evil Swarm Nightmare is actually a good card, okay? It is. But it's so easy to play, like, get rid of. It doesn't have like a high attack. With Volo, you can like boost its attack and death, but it's not a card that's just like a normal monster that you normal summon can ultimately destroy that card. First of all, that. And then second, Access Code Talker does not make sense in this deck if the only attribute you have is Dark, and then you got Appaloosa, which you're not gonna take out that consistently. So you're only going to have one pop of Access Code Talker. Like there's not really, it doesn't really make sense. And against the elements, you don't really want to destroy anything because they're just going to trigger their effects in the graveyard, right? So instead of Access Code Talker, why not play Avermax? Because the elements lose against Avermax if they do not have Goddess. Okay, so that's one thing. Then the Forstrix, like we already have like so many monsters that we can play in this X deck. Then you want to play the Forstrix? Doesn't really make sense either. Okay. By the way, ignore the side deck. This is just some random cuts. He did not have those. Like he didn't show his side deck, but yeah, ignore those. So let's go to my deck profile that I just did. Okay. Where is it? Here. There we go. So first of all, as you can see, we are only playing one Zephyros because this deck does not rely on going for Kali Yuga or whatever. Like, we are mainly focused on hand traps. By the way, I'm only playing 12 hand traps. I tested it. The most consistent way to play this deck without bricking with full of hand traps and anything else is to play with 12. Okay, 12 is the best way in my opinion. We only playing 15 Blackwing monsters, 12 hand traps. Like, it's a good mixture. Okay, it's a great mixture. And in the X deck, guys, as you can see, 3 times Blackwing Solid Dragon with Boris. This card, like, those cards are so underestimated, you gotta play them. Then we are playing Unicorn and the Avamax because with IP, you can go in your opponent's turn for Unicorn to shuffle back a card. Shuffle back a card, and then on your turn, you can simply use one of the Blackwing Assault Dragons or anything else, just special summon from the deck, plus the Unicorn to go for Avermax. Right? Like, the Unicorn works so well with Avermax, and you're not going to be locked. Or just use Wystrix and unique IP in your opponent's turn to go for Avermax. And then Wallow, obviously good card in this deck because you're playing so many Bristles and have level 6 monsters and all of that. Then the Draco, yeah, like. And then for the side deck, guys, I'm playing 3 times Evilly Match, 3 times Dark Will No More, 3 times Impermanence, 1 Call by, 2 times Triple Tactics, and 3 times Shifter. In this deck here, I don't really like to play Shifter in main, because we do not really have the options to go for Dragoon, which, like, you might lose against Shifter. But if you're going first, then I would definitely take out one of the other hand traps to go for Shifter. Okay, because if you somehow brick, just activate Shifter, so you're gonna survive at least one more turn. Okay, it's like worst case scenario. Yeah, I mean, that's basically it, I guess. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Let's also test. Let's have some hand testing. Okay. Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful. We got 2 hand traps starting with Zutri and Black Feather One. Beautiful. Great. 2 hand traps, no bricks. Now we got the prosperity. So it depends on whatever we're gonna get with prosperity. But once we got either Simoon, Small World, or Zutri on our hand, we already won. Beautiful, beautiful. And this is like what I like to play. Why I like to play Small World, because if we only use one of the hand traps in our opponent's turn, we can now boom, boom, and then get Simoon to our hand. And what we got here, beautiful. I mean, this time we don't have a hand trap, but we can still play. Even with Zephyros and a Black Wild, we're still going to be able to build something. Yeah, as you can see, guys, beautiful, right? We're not breaking. We are literally this, not a single brick yet. Not a single brick. No brick, no brick, no brick, no brick. Depending on prosperity, might break, but still good. Now with prosperity, we gotta get at least one Blackwing monster, and then we're good. Beautiful. Alright, now let's go back to Team Samurai's deck profile to see how many bricks we have. Alright, we got his deck again. Test hand. Okay, this is good. Although, yeah, it depends on, like, not sure what we can do with Bora and Suzutri, but yeah. This is good. Great. Great. See, the first brick already. After the fourth try. Yeah. Depending on prosperity, of course. Brick. Brick. Now we gotta pray. We gotta pray that we get Simoon. If we do not get Simoon because we do not play Small World, we are fucked. Yeah, you can do something here. Yeah, good. There's another brick, because in his deck with only Zutri you can't do shit. But in the profile that I just showed you guys, with Zutri you can simply go for full combos. So yeah, I mean, this shit just proves it, man. I mean, like I said, no shot against Team Samurai. All I got is love for them. But yeah. Alright, so that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Yeah, I actually like that deck profile a lot. Like, I'm actually a huge fan of this one. So yeah, just let me know in the comments what you think about this one. 12 hand traps. I tested it. I think we cannot play more than 12 hand traps, and you have to play Small World, because if you're playing that many hand traps and not Small World, it's going to be a long day. Okay. So yeah. Alright, guys, that's it for me. I hope you guys stay safe, take care of yourself, and buenas noches. Benzema out.